Good, whatever time of the day it is you happen to be listening to us. This is the PNA Podcast Express. Email us at pineapplenipplearsehole@gmail.com or PNAPodcastExpress@gmail.com. I'm Adam Filkins. With me, as always, is Phil Nickel. We are at the Fantasy Football Draft Edition.
We are, and we're in a different side of the tavern tonight. It's a little different. I'm double duty. He said duty. I'm drafting right now. I'm in round 12 of 16, so the heavy lifting's over, but I'm still drafting for this fantasy football league that I got invited to yesterday.
Well, do the players mind being drafted?
I don't know.
Conscripted into your service?
I think so. I think they have big problems with the fact that all of us think that we're their coach now when really they're not, because we are not trained professionals, unlike most of the coaches they've had. So
I don't know. I look over at that table, and all I can think is professional.
That's a very professional-looking table. The most professional thing I saw them do earlier was when we were eating ribs.
Yeah.
That was the most professional thing they've done all night. Oh, so I'm in the round. I'm 12 of 16. I don't have a kicker, a defense yet. Should I wait on those, or should I look to a kicker right now? Gross, right?
Yeah.
And I know this is not good podcast. There's two things in life that people don't want to see or hear about. One of them is they don't want to see pictures that don't have themselves in them. Actually, there's three. A second one is they don't want to hear about dreams that they're not in. And a third one is no one wants to hear about your fucking fantasy football team.
That is true. This
I've determined. I determined that sometimes people are just like, you know what, I could give two fucks about your bullshit. But
that's pretty much for everything.
Right?
But
pretty much.
People just don't give a shit anymore.
They don't. The level of give a shit's astounding sometimes. Would you take Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, as my backup quarterback just in case? You don't like Tua, do you?
I would probably get a kicker before I would get Tua.
Before you get Tua?
Yeah. Before I get my backup quarterback, I'm going to get a kicker.
But there's no good kickers left here. I'm going to take Tua.
You waited too long for a kicker.
I did. I'm going to take Tua. Why not? I know, I was discussing it on the podcast. I picked.
Settle down, fellas. He's still in the game.
They're used to every pick I've made in the first 3 seconds of my turn so far, too. So
we had quite a discussion about it. He sought counsel.
Yes. I had some help, I'm sorry. Do I have to enlist him as my second commissioner?
No, but if you want to pay an extra fee, you can.
Okay. Sold! So here we are, back to reality.
Yeah, so gears to grind.
Got
any?
What's that?
Got any gears to grind?
Oh, Jesus. Just every weekend should be a 3-day weekend. As we sit here on Labor Day, and thank you, unions, for making this possible. Every weekend should be a 3-day weekend. It should be a 4-day work week and a 3-day weekend every weekend.
Do you dread going to work any less than you do on a Sunday, though?
I
might dread it more.
Here's the thing. I've had more time where I've been able to relax that, honestly, today I was sitting there at my house. I did some laundry. I did the dishes. I took the trash out, cleaned the cat's litter box and everything. And I sat there and I sat in my chair and watched some TV about 1:30 this afternoon. And I said, this is the most relaxed I've felt in a few weeks. And it took me basically a little over 2 days of both heavy medicating, getting lots of rest, and not having a whole lot going on for me to get to that point. It took me that long to unwind.
Yeah, I'm definitely unwound, but it's going to be really hard to wind back up tomorrow.
Right.
And
right.
I looked at my calendar for tomorrow because I'm a sadist, I guess, and thought, I think tomorrow's pretty light. I was pretty wrong. I really stacked up my Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I was looking for this one. I'm sitting on the opposite side. Everything's in reverse, isn't it?
It is.
And I'm actually sitting directly across from you, where normally I sit kitty corner.
I know, it's weird. I keep looking over to the side for you. You're not there.
I see you looking longingly over that way, and I'm not there.
I'm not trying to look at Joey.
I know. This I'm well aware of.
Although our eyes did meet a second ago.
You did. I saw that. You locked eyes for a moment.
Yeah, it's magical.
So it is, it's good to have a 3-day weekend. My job has been stressing me out more than any job should, and I don't understand why. Because I came to this epiphany that I was thinking about the fact that I don't think they believe I'm performing well enough, and I've only been there 6 weeks, that they're going to fire me. And then I realized they're probably not going to fire me. That's insane speak for this early, because I am putting forth effort. And then I was driving to Ann Arbor and back for work to look at a machine that's being built for our company. And I said I should just quit. And I said, Phil, that's also insane.
Yeah.
Like, don't quit if you think they're going to fire you. Like, that's crazy talk. That's crazy to think about.
Money on the table.
Right. So just the bottom line is I realized I just have to let it go. I just have to pull the frozen and just let it go, man. I mean, this stuff's going to suck. Things are going to happen. Things are a little messed up, and everybody says it's not normally like this. I've been told, no, it's not normally like this, and it'll get better. But the gear grind is like, I'm just filling myself with this stinking thinking, like, it's insane. I should just let it go. Because
maybe it's you.
It probably is me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It ultimately doesn't matter,
It's extremely relieving to just not give a shit.
It is. It really is. And but that's that's the epiphany that I arrived at is, if I'm thinking about quitting because they're going to fire me, why not just continue to still do my best? I'm not saying I'm going to fuck off or slack off or do a shit job. I'm still going to do my best, and if it's not good enough, then make them make the move. Don't fucking give up, like you said, leave money on the table or give up the job.
Well, and is there anything specifically that you feel like, oh man, I really screwed up, they're going to fire me?
Oh, no, nothing at all. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going above and beyond. It's just they have all these directives that they want things done. Like this, for instance, this machine that I'm trying to get into the building, it's going to save us. It's going to free up some operators, some people to go do other jobs because we can't. We're short people,
right?
And they want this machine, and every time the joke is, oh, bring it back with you when you come, but it's not ready yet, and it'll be ready within a couple months. But this machine has been in process, and this whole project's been going for well over 2 years.
Holy shit.
So I'm coming here to bring this thing to the finish line. I'm going to do the best I can, but I also had to get up to speed and educated on the whole thing. And I think I've done a good job really quickly. When I went down to the company making it, and this is all they do is honing processes, their project manager and their lead engineer said, you are probably the sharpest one we've spoken to about this project from this company so far. Well, so that was a compliment.
You're not going to get fired.
Right. Because I got up to speed very quickly, and they were impressed.
If anything, they're going to start bringing you free bacon.
Hey, it's been a while since I've had free bacon. I realized yesterday, I haven't taken care of myself in like 2.5 weeks or something like that.
Jeez,
I said, no wonder.
Anybody else done it for you?
No, of course not. And I said, no wonder my brain's so gummed up with bullshit right now. The pipes are backed up. Yeah.
Damn.
So I found some good videos, and I took care of that twice yesterday and once so far today.
Nice.
Got to get back in playing shape.
Congratulations. Yeah. I mean, identifying the problem is half the battle, right? I mean,
it really is. But it was the awareness, and I'm like, holy shit, I haven't jerked off in like a couple weeks. And I said, that's insane. I have no idea why anybody would put themselves through that. It's just, it's virtual insanity. So I took care of that. You can probably tell I'm a little. I bet you can tell, and I know our listeners can, that I am in a lot better place right now than I have been in a few weeks. I feel like.
Well, I mean, if you can let go of the "I'm going to get fired" thing, or I have to quit so I don't get fired,
right?
You'll be in a much better place.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that, and be in a much better place, and just trying to do my best, and as I said, as long as I'm doing my best and trying my hardest, putting forth effort, and giving them the best Phil that I can be, I think I'll be okay.
What more could they ask for? I mean, the best Phil is probably at least 3/4 of anybody else.
Right. I see what you did there. Like, you went the opposite way. Normally they'd be like, that's like 1 1/4 for somebody else, but no, it's 3/4. I'd say 66%, even 2/3.
Yeah.
We'll go 66, 2/3. Full on 2/3.
66.6%. You're one Satan of a person.
Yes, I happen to be. I just took a defense because I panicked because time was running out, and I wanted to complete my thoughts, and I didn't want the fantasy football draft to dominate. See what I did there, too, even.
Well, you're multitasking.
But my brain isn't. My brain, when I'm stressed out, I'm not able to do that when I'm really stressed out. I think you know that too. You've known me long enough to know that when I'm stressed out, I don't multitask. I don't. Hell, I have a hard time just staying on task when I'm stressed out.
Well, I'm watching those guys over there, and I mean, when it's their pick, they have to push their plate away.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they can't have that distraction.
No, of course not. They have to push their plate away. They have to stop texting their mistress. They have to do whatever,
Yeah. So,
We're all professionals here. Oh,
so,
that's hilarious.
Apparently, we will be doing next week's episodes with the gentleman from Old Guys Rockin'.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we will be recording that soon, and it will be up next week.
It'll be up next week?
Yep. So
that's exciting.
It is. I'm excited about it.
That's extremely exciting. So, any plans? Do we have anything we can... No, we don't make plans. What the shit?
Oh, surely you jest.
It was in jest, because I am up again for a pick, and I don't know what I want to do here. There's this.
Do you have a kicker yet?
I don't. Should I take a kicker?
You should take a kicker.
Should I take McManus or Gano? McManus for Denver or Gano for the New York Giants? Graham Gano. Gano. Copy that. Done. Now my roster's full. I've got 2 more picks, and it doesn't matter what I take at this point because it's all garbage time.
The high altitude in Denver makes the ball fly funny.
Yeah, you're right. And my balls fly funny sometimes too.
Yeah.
So do you have any gears to grind?
Just, I've got kind of a crazy week coming up.
Yeah, you do.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be a fun week. Tomorrow I'm just booked. Wednesday I'll be booked by the time Wednesday gets here. Thursday I have things booked that I have to cancel because I booked them on Friday to do.
Right.
And then realize that, I won't be working Friday. I'm going to be at work, but I will be on a golf course.
Right. That's tough, but that's where business, the golf course is the new Applebee's. It's where business gets done.
Business was done at Applebee's?
It's a joke from The Office.
I was going to say Bennigan's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Bennigan's. Since they're so ubiquitous these days, there's Bennigan's everywhere. So one time, like when I lived in Seattle, there was no. I don't care. Something nice and easy, maybe peppermint. You want peppermint?
I'll do a butter shot. Yeah.
I'll do one of those too, just to keep it easy. Can you bring us a pitcher of beer too, please? Thank you, sir. Anywho, is that your work phone? Is that the bat phone?
It is.
Okay.
We could pause for just a moment, and I can take this?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do the rare pause. No edit, just
no
pause.
Edit. And I'll tell my story about Bennigan's when we come back.
All right, sounds good. And we're back.
We are back. We had to take a little hiatus there because Adam actually had to do some work. I know one of us actually does something.
Yeah, I got called out. That's never happened in the podcast
It's never
before.
happened in the middle of an episode. So There's no edit there. And we didn't discuss anything about the podcast other than we talked about your work, and that's about it. So
and we did a couple shots.
That we did. Full disclosure.
Yeah. Not while I was working, though.
No, absolutely not. The moment he hung up the phone, he's like, it's time for a shot.
Yeah.
Because he's like, this issue's been resolved.
Yes. Celebratory resolution.
Resolution, yes. So anyway, my ex-wife and I always loved Bennigan's, right? And we moved out to Washington, to Seattle, the state of Washington. And there's no Bennigan's anywhere out there. So then I get a job still working for the same aerospace company, but in Philadelphia. So we moved cross-country to Philadelphia. And we thought it was closer to home. We could drive home. We'd, see our family more and everything. Well, the first day we're there, we're driving in Springfield, which is a shitty suburb of Seattle. It's in Delco. And there's a fucking Bennigan's there. And I say, oh, my God, it's fucking Bennigan's. Like, wow, we have a Bennigan's. So, 2 nights later, we decided to go and have dinner at Bennigan's because it had been a while. Just the shittiest meal I've ever had at a Bennigan's, right? I'm talking, I asked for mashed potatoes. They gave me a baked potato that was literally just chopped up.
Oh,
and so, you see, what had happened was, little did we know, the very next day that Bennigan's closed permanently.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
you wonder why.
Right. Well, they knew They knew when we were in there they were closing permanently the next day or whatever.
Yeah, we don't give a shit.
So they didn't give two shits, even half of a shits. And so that's been the joke forever. It's like, Bennigan's, and I see the one in Saginaw had held on forever, and it's been closed now for quite a while. But yeah.
So we were in, we went on our trip up to Traverse City, which, I've spoke to the debacle that was at times. I mean,
Right.
we had a great time because, my wife's pretty great, the kids are pretty great, so we had a good time. We made the best of it. But man,
You enjoyed each other's company and just being out and about.
Yeah, there were some follies. I mean, anytime that you're out and you've got your 20-year-old and 18-year-old kid with you, and they're not bitching,
Right. That's a good
you
time.
guys are so late. It's pretty cool. So everything was good, but we stopped by a Ponderosa. I'm like, there's
Oh my God, there's still Ponderosas out there.
So-
They used to be right up there too, man.
Well, the one in Bay City is phenomenal. If you've
Yeah,
ever
it's still
eaten
open. The one in Bay City's still open,
and
right?
it's so good.
Yeah.
So good. So we stop at the Ponderosa, and you walk in and you
It's
get
a
that
steak
familiar,
buffet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You get that familiar Ponderosa smell, and you're just like, I'm home. So, anyways,
Hello, darling.
I'm all geared up for a buffet. I haven't been to a buffet in a year and a half, and I'm just like,
And did you wear stretchy
fuck,
pants?
Yes.
Yes.
I was wearing shorts and a loose-fitting T-shirt.
You were ready.
I undid the string on my shorts. I mean, I was prepped. So we get in there, and you walk up to the line, and there's people there serving you. And you want to talk about awkward when they're like, is that enough? And you're like,
No. Keep going.
Is that enough? No.
You got to promise not to stop when I say when.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, and we come back, and we all sit down, and we're like, well, shit.
Fuck.
It's really hard to be a glutton when...
These guys are going to guilt trip us this whole time.
Yeah.
And that's like the guy at, Golden Corrals. I mean, they're still in existence, but not here locally. That's like the prime rib guy at Golden Corrals. Just like, gives you a little slab, and you're like, come on. Come on, while we're young.
Or, yeah, and the steak guy when you're like,
Right.
I'll take a piece of rare. Another piece of rare.
And why don't you just times 4 so far what you've given me?
Yeah. I didn't order the rib tips.
That's right. I came here to eat, man. The sign says all you can eat.
Do you know how awkward it is to go into a buffet and be like, yeah, I guess that's enough. And you walk away and you leave totally dissatisfied.
And when they give you that knowing look that, yeah, that's enough, trust me.
It'd be like sitting down to watch a great porn with the porn star sitting there. You know what I mean?
And her explaining to you how painful that scene actually was.
Yeah, or
You're like, she's acting like she's enjoying it, and she's like, I was not enjoying it.
oh, he smelled so bad.
Oh my God. I swear he was shifting my pelvis every time.
I hadn't showered myself in about 3 weeks. So
Just the smells of that set were horrible. And he must have eaten a lot of asparagus because when he ejacked, it was terrible.
they've not used that set since.
It's been declared a disaster zone.
They were not able to return that purple mattress.
They just burned that leather couch after that.
So yeah, it was kind of like that. You're looking these people in the eye,
Right.
going,
No.
It was awkward,
Very, very awkward.
Very
So
awkward.
they took the benefits of having a buffet away from the benefit of having a buffet.
Yeah, when you got like your grandma standing there serving you, is that enough for you? She might as well be going, hey, you're kind of fat.
You've gotten a little fat, and you've already taken 3 times as much as I would ever eat in one setting. So you're getting fat.
The last 3 people combined didn't have that much.
And now you want me to... Do you just want me to get you half of a cow?
I suppose you want free bacon, too.
That's right. Free bacon, my arthritic hands will still get the job done, but you might not enjoy it as much.
Oh, boy.
She says, sometimes I tend to white knuckle it, and you might not appreciate that.
I've got a grip. I used to milk cows.
That's right.
44 years of milking cows.
Yeah, I can milk you.
I used to, I didn't even have to use an axe to behead a chicken. I just squeeze and then...
Oh, there you go. Oh, well, they're starting to get all wound up. So the fantasy football draft has been over for about a half hour, so now we're getting to the point where, although you should try some of those ribs. In between shows, if those ribs are still out there, give Joey's ribs a try. He smoked them, and they're
solid.
really good, yeah.
Oh, so you want to hear another pet peeve of mine?
Go on.
So I got a brisket, right? And it was a prepackaged
That's one of the kings of beef. Yes.
I should have known better, but I
should have known better.
I fell in love with it too soon.
Okay,
so
on.
I fire up the smoker. I got hickory in there. I mean, it was literally the best smelling smoke ever that I've ever made.
And I know exactly what you mean, yes.
And I was just like, oh, this is going to be so good. So I put a rub on the roast, and I mean, I took my time with it. I really handled the meat.
Hey, baby, you rubbed it just the right way.
I really handled the meat.
I'm gonna rub you the right way.
Yeah. So
I'll let you come up to room temperature.
So I go through and I got it all set, and I put it on there. Oh, it just about 4 hours in, I'm like, oh, it just looks amazing. So I cut a little end off. I can see the smoke ring.
I forgot we don't have shit on that board. There we go.
Oh shit!
There you go.
We got to change that.
Yeah, we do.
We need more sounds on that thing.
Is there a way for us to rig that up so there's more sounds on that?
I have found some things, yes, that could lead to that, like a many drop board.
Yeah, because we kind of need that, because we've got, I mean, the drop of all drops, Detroit Rock City. You got it. That'll never get old.
No.
Can you send that to me and I can use it as my ringtone?
Yes. They did that during when they played Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
And, I have like a whole clip of that, but I isolated just that for the drop.
And we appreciate that. That's nice. It's a good effort.
So, I cut just a little bit off, and it was mostly seasoning at that point, because it was just a corner piece, but I could see the smoke ring, and I'm just like...
the burnt ends, yeah.
This is so good. So I tasted. I could taste all the seasoning, which the seasoning wasn't bad. It was good. I made it a little spicy because that's the way I lean.
Oh yeah.
And I had some cayenne in there. Had some chipotle. I had some smoked paprika.
Oh baby.
So.
Man, she's dressed like a jelly donut.
Yes. So it gets done. I look, and it's got all the way around. Got a nice smoke ring.
You got the ring, the halo.
Yeah.
The halo. Yeah.
I slice it. It's tender. It's good. I take a bite, and I didn't know when I bought it because it was in a package. And I washed it off before I did anything with it. But it had been brined.
Oh shit! So it was just salty as fuck.
Oh, it was so salty. It was like hot.
Oh,
it was like the elephant's
your throat
foot.
hurt kind of salty.
Yeah, it was like the elephant's foot at Chernobyl.
Wow,
just meltdowny.
Just wow, yeah. Good reference there. Anytime, I mean, +1 for anytime you can do a Chernobyl reference. The elephant's foot, yeah. That's I'm fascinated by all that shit. Like I've read so much about the Chernobyl disaster. It's just all fascinating. Anything like that. Like I was very also fascinated with. It still am. The Manhattan Project to get the A-bombs during World War II. Just fucking amazing, fascinating.
Well, have you watched the Chernobyl documentary? I
have not watched the documentary, but I watched the one horror movie that was terrible on Netflix that was still good though.
Yeah,
where they
the six-parter.
I haven't seen that yet. It's on Netflix, you said?
I don't remember if it's Netflix or Amazon Prime. It's on one of them, but it's good.
I'll give that a watch. Like I do, one of my favorite movies growing up that really stuck with me was kind of based on actual events. It was Fat Man and Little Boy about the Manhattan Project developing the A-bombs and everything. Yep. And that was great. And Chernobyl, I've read up all kinds of shit. I've watched, YouTube video after YouTube video about it. Just fucking fascinating, though.
Well, so don't ever watch it with my youngest. He is a Chernobyl
denier.
No. Like he knows everything. We were sitting there watching it with him, and a guy would come on screen, and they'd like show his name at the bottom or whatever. He'd be like, "Well, he was actually heavier in real life, and different hair color, didn't wear glasses." Like he knew
Like
all
he
these
knew
damn
how these people looked that were players
Yeah.
in this shit too.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was
That's
annoying.
so that's just like the elephant's foot was a very hot portion of melted down radioactive material.
Yes.
That apparently was responsible for what? Countless deaths because they were down there looking at this thing, not really knowing what the fuck they were looking at.
Yeah, just put on that plastic suit. It'll protect you.
Yeah, just this flimsy-ass plastic suit and these fucking gas masks like you buy at the fucking Do-It-Right Center for painting your fucking walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Enjoy your cancer.
Yeah. Wah, wah,
Oh, wait,
wah.
you won't live long enough to get the cancer.
And dying a death of radiation poisoning is not pretty.
No.
They say everything swells, everything hurts, your nails all pop off, your hair falls out. Ugh, gross.
Well, and there's a couple of scenes in that movie that are pretty accurate as far as like the effects of that. But really good movie. But yeah, he was a little over the top in like his knowledge of it. And I'm like, how did you learn? You know, I mean, we hadn't watched. It's not like he watched it and then went and learned a whole bunch about it. He knew this all prior to it happening.
Right.
And I'm just like, where the hell did you learn all of this? And you know, why'd you get D's in math?
Yeah. Where is my son and what, or who are you, imposter? Where is my son?
Yes. No, he's like that. When he's interested in something,
he just goes all in on
goes
it.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his Herbert impersonation.
Get your fat asses off the way we finish Stella. We can listen to the PNA podcast express together. You can get some massage oil and I can bust out my nice long hot candy oil.
Yeah, see,
it's good. No, it's good. So I've thought about this too. Like my impressions, I spend a lot of time not doing anything when I should be doing things like working on my impressions. You know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you're driving down the road or doing whatever, you can just work it. That's a good time to work on those things.
I really want to do a good Christopher Walken.
I would love to be able to do Christopher Walken.
Wouldn't that just be fun to be able to bust out? Hey,
your tone's all wrong.
Your tone.
I'm gonna
wrong.
I'm gonna stab you with a soldering iron.
Yeah, but I just don't do a great Christopher Walken.
No, and I could. I think. God damn.
I feel like I could do
you gotta,
a good Christopher Walken.
The first thing you gotta do is get the cadence down.
Timing.
Yep.
It's about the timing.
And you gotta learn that he stresses different syllables every once in a while.
He does.
Yeah. He does.
Jay Moore's impression of him is so good.
Like, I concur. Like, that's a good one. Impressionist is something that's gone by the wayside, but there used to be so many great ones. And
dude, the best. I actually saw Frank Caliendo live.
You said, you were.
And holy shit!
Like like his John Madden is one of my favorites ever.
Oh, his John Madden is good. His Clinton and his Bush were just
like how sometimes he'll end his John Maddens, which is Brett Favre, Brett Favre, Brett Favre. You know.
Brett Favre, rah, rah, rah.
Brett Favre.
Oh, he had quite a thing live of just Brett Favre and then like his just everything that he can do, like the Super Friends voice.
Right.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
Yes, we played some of that on one. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
Aquaman makes a sandwich because he can't do shit.
That's good. It's funny. Oh, man. I wish I was funny. We're good. We're good, thank you. Maybe in a little bit. Between shows, yeah. Thank you. Because he can't do shit. That had me rolling when you played that.
Oh, dude, I about pissed myself.
That was some good
show.
shit, yeah. What's that? Sure, why not?
What is it?
Another round of that butter shots?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, the McGillicuddies again. That would be wonderful. Please. The McGillicuddies. The butter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you.
That is really good.
Although it's going to diabetes.
Going to go into one of them shocks.
And diabetes.
Well, you can go into a coma from that.
Oh, man. So, Labor Day weekend's in the books. Got to go back to work in the morning. And
got to step into fall here soon.
You know, I'm enjoying this. I think my life outlook's a little bit better because I genuinely do enjoy football season and doing the games and
I
such
do
like
too.
that.
This is my favorite time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just getting into it. Like today before I left my house, I have one of those little scented wax things, you know, with the little light that melts the wax.
Yeah.
And I threw some like fall crisp apple in there, so when I get home and smell the house, it's going to be like, oh yeah. Smells like my farts and crisp apples.
When you go sit in your recliner and that all plumes up
And
around
it wafts up, yeah. I'll be like, now this is fall.
Yeah. Yep, when the windows have all been shut for 6 months because of winter. Oh, yeah.
No, I can't help it. And I know sometimes my house smells like a fucking high school fucking boys' locker room. I'm aware of this.
Oh,
it
yeah.
happens.
Oh, yeah.
I live alone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other than with the cat. Thank you very much. Cheers, Cindy. Thank you. Oh, yeah, there we go. For our fallen homies.
Yes.
I was thinking about that, though. I'm like, dude, my house is gross sometimes. And I'm not a clean freak or anything like that, but, like, my house is genuinely gross sometimes. Like, today I did my dishes, and I'm thinking back, I'm like, the sink was half full, and the little counter beside the sink that's about the size of the sink had a little stack. And I'm like, I realized I haven't done my dishes in, like, a week. And I'm like, that's weird behavior. Not that there was a ton, but there were a couple that were pretty, they didn't smell so good.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
You know? But what incentivizes me to do my dishes when it's just me living by myself?
You just need to move that little apple crisp scent thing closer to your dishes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I'm a problem solver.
That's a great idea. And I haven't had the dog. I finally took the dog back with the kids last week because I had her for like a month and a half straight. So I'm finally not having to vacuum. I've got one of those little handheld Dysons, which one of the best things I've ever bought. By the way, Dyson, if you want to sponsor us, fuck, I'm all for it. Your products are amazing. But
Fantastic.
Anyway, I had to vacuum almost every other day because I got the little tumble furs all the time with all the fans going in my house and everything.
Yep.
And I finally got to the point where I vacuumed today, and 3 hours later, I haven't seen a single tumble fur yet.
So, life hack.
Normally within 3 hours later, I'd see like 50 of them. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Would you like a life hack?
Yeah, sure. Roomba.
So,
get a Roomba.
No.
Okay.
Go and get a furnace filter.
Yeah?
And put it on the back of your fan.
Okay, that is a good one.
Like if you have box fans around, or like, you know, any kind of fan, just put it behind your fan. Close to the fan.
I have box fans, and I box my fans sometimes.
Yes. Well, Cindy keeps bringing us shots. We'll be
I'll be boxing something, and I find my own goddamn shadow.
Yeah. So
put them up. Put them up.
Yeah. If you have a 20-inch fan, get a 20 by 20 furnace filter.
That's brilliant.
And just some packing tape, masking tape, whatever you got, tape it to the back of it. If you don't need much, it's going to hold itself.
Because I'm tired of, actually, it's funny you mention that, because that's another fall thing I do is clean all my fans. Because I've had a lot of them, and, you know, I just let a lot of them ride all summer long, so they run all summer. Yeah. And every fall I've got like 3 of them in my house I have to clean.
Yeah. And you just get the really cheap ones. All you want...
Right.
You want maximum airflow, and all you want is like something that will catch the shit that's going to go into your
most of it is just dirt, dander, and dog fur is what it is, and cat fur too. Fuck that cat. Fuck, I hate that fucking cat.
Yeah. Fuck that cat.
I found a spot in the basement where she was pissing on a plastic bag, and that annoys the shit out of me. Because I already battled trying to make my house smell good as it is. I don't need fucking cat piss in the mix because, let's be honest, there's already cat piss in the mix in the basement because for years and years my grandma had tons of cats and they just peed in places in the basement, you know?
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
I don't care for our cats. We just have a doggy door. Our cats kind of go in
There's
and out.
no reason you should have cats in your fucking house.
No.
It's gross. I feel the same way about birds, though, too. Because you can't train a bird to go fucking shit anywhere besides where it wants to.
Cats are thankless little beasts.
Cats are a pain in my dick. She wakes me up every fucking morning for no fucking reason. Other than she wants to wake me up like, hey, what are you doing? Like most mornings about 5:30, I roll over, I scratch my ass, and I fart. Well, she thinks that I'm up, so she's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm just like, relax. It was just my 5:30 scratching of my ass and fart. Like, Jesus. I don't know what that was, but I liked it.
It was a bomb dropping.
Oh, yeah. Fat man. Little boy.
So, yeah, I concur. I'm not a cat person.
So one of the things, too, though, that really hit home for me and is crazy is that I had the opportunity to go to Japan and visit Hiroshima. And
that was just one I decided to play. It had nothing to do with
we went to the A-Bomb Museum, the museum and everything they have over there, and there are literally hundreds of pictures and images that you can't see on our internet here, or they keep from you, that they have at that fucking museum.
Really?
Like, they make you, like, before you go in, they say, you know, you're going to see a lot of graphic and terrible shit, and you do. And then at the end, they give you a choice to sign a petition for every country in the world to eliminate nuclear weapons. So, of course, I signed it. Why would I not after seeing all that horrible atrocity, you know?
Well, yeah. You know, what's the point of them?
There's no point.
No. I mean, it ended that war.
Right.
We know that they're there. But anybody that would use that at this point is just a monster.
And I feel like the time when wars are fought with troops has pretty much come to an end. Wars are fought in different ways now. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer with troops. It just makes no sense. Just like everything in Afghanistan made no sense.
I concur.
So, I mean, technology has come so far, everything's changed. You can fly armed drones into anywhere you'd ever fucking need to, or with the technology and tracking we have in GPS, you can fire a bomb and they say they can put it in a fucking car's exhaust pipe from fucking 2 miles away, you know?
Well, I mean, we remember seeing the videos from Desert Storm.
Right.
And it was just like, holy shit.
Right.
You know, these are crazy accurate.
Yeah.
And so to think that they haven't improved on that in 20-some years, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's my impression of what happened when Desert Storm happened. Every time you'd hear about Saddam Hussein firing Scud missiles, we shot them down like 99% of the time. So I thought to myself, these Scud missiles must just be these big old, terrible, archaic, honking pieces of shit.
Yeah, I mean, their name's Scud.
And then I saw that, and I'm like, they are not.
No.
They are legit. Like we got so desensitized, I did personally, that anytime they said, oh, we fired 23 Scud missiles, we shot down all 23 of them, and I'm like, ha, 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 stupid idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these fuckers can still do a lot of damage and are a serious piece of fucking devastation equipment.
Oh, it definitely are, but I mean, we call them Scuds. I'm sure that's not what the Iraqis call them, but we call them Scuds.
Right.
So what the fuck?
And that is, if you think about it, how did that come about? Because let's face it, even when it comes to a war, there's branding of things. Like, war is a brand. War is a business. War is a business. Let's not get it twisted. War is a business, no matter how you want to talk about it, face it, or anything. I mean, historically, even our country has been guilty of entering into conflicts and wars just to improve our own economy, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
war is a business. Anyway, I digress.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to download a toilet flushing drop.
I see you're concentrating on something over there.
It's not going well. It's not going well.
A toilet flushing app, sound drop.
Drop. Yeah.
Drop. Cool. I wonder where Matthew is. He's not here yet. It's already after 8. I'm worried about him. Maybe I should. Our resident Sasquatch expert. Maybe he got captured by a Sasquatch.
It's very possible he could have been out hunting one.
So we have somebody that's called that I consider a friend, but maybe not. Every time I send her anything about the podcast or talking about it, she always says, she always sends these passive-aggressive messages like, have fun, and then she'll say, still haven't listened since May. And I'm like, and I sent the other day a message. I'm like, is this some sort of boycott, or is there a reason you're not? And she's like, no, I don't know what you mean. And then she has started up her hobby business again. And the first thing I sent to her is, I'd like to buy 4 of your product because I support your ambitions and endeavors.
Was that some kind of an anti-boycott?
Yes, kill them with kindness. So,
I mean, good move. I mean, check.
There's a perception that what happened was this person was booted off of our podcast and negative, and it was all negative, and we were angry, and just all kinds of drama. And now they've taken the point where they go out of their way. They go out of their way to tell me they haven't listened to the podcast and don't listen to the podcast.
Well, I hate to break it to them, but they're not alone.
Yeah.
There's lots of people that don't listen.
So there's lots of people. You know what? I can tell you with 100% certainty there's more people in the county, the state, the country that don't listen than listen.
Yes.
With certainty. Although I don't know about Israel these days.
I haven't seen Israel pop up on the charts.
It hasn't.
We were on the U.S. charts again in the 140s or so.
I saw that. We charted some U.S. pretty good numbers in the U.S. at some point. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on over there, but I like it.
Well, all kinds of good sound effects.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Gonna have to nab that one.
What about the slide whistle?
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, what the hell?
They want to charge me $25 for that sound.
For that shit, we could make our own. Man, just like old-timey time, you see?
Or I can just go on their website.
You don't need a horse, you just need a coconut. Cut it in half. You don't need thunder, you don't need lightning. Just get an old-timey cookie sheet.
Yes.
Wobble it around. Ha. You've probably seen that. Oh, boy.
Oh, dear Lord. I got my $25 worth right there.
I can't believe I'm scrolling through Facebook here. So for Lake Huron Cock Rock, I have 78 mutual friends with the Lake Huron Cock Rock fucking Facebook page.
Yeah.
What? First of all, what the fuck? Who in the fuck does this Lake Huron Cock Rock think they are? I had an idea, because I drive by the damn thing when I'm going to Port Sound Lake and whatnot or wherever. I had an idea. We should just fucking blow that fucker up sometime.
I think we should carve it into a much smaller cock rock.
Oh, that'd be even better. And then paint it black. That's a good idea.
Oh, the irony in that.
Make it into just a tiny little cock rock. And
we should just take some red spray paint and give it warts.
The Lake Huron Cock Rock has 656 friends. It's an inanimate object. It has 656 friends. I don't even have 656 friends.
Yes, but its posts are riveting.
And I'm a bigger dick than that rock is.
That is true. That is true.
Unbelievable. Shame for shame, people. What is going on here?
They want you to pay $25 for that.
Really?
Yeah.
We do that ourselves when we've eaten too much Ponderosa. Right? There's one thing we do have to discuss.
God damn it, Google.
In looking at the calendar, we are only like a month away from our 100th episode live event.
October 9th.
We got to
live from the Silver Tavern in Deckerville. Saturday.
We got to throw together a graphic for it and everything else.
Yeah, we got a month.
You say that now, but time's been flying lately, man.
I know it. You don't have to tell me.
It's ridiculous.
My summer's almost gone.
Hey, man, it's ridiculous.
Yo, this be ridiculous.
Yo, man, I don't even know what happened.
As Charles Barkley would say, ridiculous.
She said she's only going to charge me $100, and then she said I didn't have to wear no rubber. Well, now that STD test said I should have wore a rubber,
and it cost me a lot more than $100.
Oh, dang!
Oh, man.
We should start talking about all the people that aren't listening to our podcast. Can we just, talk shit about random people we know don't listen to our podcast and then tell them, hey, we talked about you on our podcast?
All right.
Do you think that's a way? Is that a good... I mean, it's a strategy. Is it a good one, though?
How about any of the people that own McDonald's?
That own McDonald's?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
The Dick and Dashers?
Yeah, do they not listen?
I don't believe they do.
But they were such good friends of mine back in the day.
Which one?
Well, I went to school with Amy.
I went to school with Matt.
Yeah.
Now, Matt might listen, but he's not your traditional...
Now, one of the older ones absolutely loathed me because I was at McDonald's all the time, and I was... If you've ever seen the movie Mallrats... I was like the two slackers in Mallrats. He felt like I would just show up with no agenda and no reason to be there, but I would just be at McDonald's hanging out.
Well, I used to go in there all the time because I had friends that worked there. When you had friends that worked there, when you sat by the back door by the kitchen, you got handed free stuff.
Or you walk up and get a Sprite water.
Like a, like a Big Mac chicken. A Big Mac chicken.
And if you've never had a Big Mac with, say, 2 McChicken patties on it, too? Like the burgers and the McChicken patty?
You haven't lived.
What's that?
You haven't lived.
That's right, you have not lived. I always liked it, and I noted that some of my friends worked there, and we decided you could fit anywhere between 34 to 40 chicken nuggets in a 20-piece box.
Well, and so I had a friend that used to make us big Monte Cristos.
Ooh.
He used to get out the round eggs.
Oh, that's nice.
And he used to make us a Monte Cristo.
Oh, wow.
And he'd undercook it just enough that the yolk would stay a little soft.
Oh.
It was so good. But 2 of those on a Big Mac was a little much.
And those are the beautiful days. Like, I remember high school when I was playing sports and everything, and when you have that metabolism that's just crazy, where I would go to McDonald's, and I remember I lived on fucking milkshakes. Like, I would have 2 milkshakes a day. If I tried to do 2 milkshakes a day now, I'd be even fatter than I am.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Ugh.
This is not translating as well as I thought it would.
Not as well. I don't think that's very good.
Well, it should be awesome. It's Elvis dancing, and it's supposed to be Elvis noises, but he's not saying anything. He's just dancing.
It's just like him running into shit. I don't know what that is, but it's wild.
It's a little wild, Hermione.
Oh, baby.
It's a little wild.
I'm sorry, Mama.
It's a little wild.
I'm sorry, Mama. Supposedly that's what Elvis said whenever he ejaculated. I'm sorry, Mama.
You know this.
One of the podcasts, a podcast that has a lot more fans than ours does, that I used to listen to, talked about it all the time.
Impossible?
Yeah. A lot more fans than ours. They also, to be fair, they also had a morning radio show in Metro Detroit for 20-some years, so of course, they're going to have more listeners. Drew and Mike.
Oh, I was going to say Eddie Fury and Carl Coffey.
Yeah. So I've been on Drew and Mike's podcast probably 3 or 4 different times. I called in, and one time I was on for a good 5 minutes just chatting with them and whatnot. They say, you sound like you actually do this. And I said, well, yeah, guilty. I work at a radio station in Thumb Tailgater Sports. And they're like, Thumb what? I'm like, never mind. I don't have time to explain this to you.
Dumb Nail-Biter Sports? What?
Yeah. They're like, wait, what? So you broadcast high school football games over the internet. well,
with your thumb up your ass?
Are these big schools? And I'm like, no. They're like, so how many people listen? I'm like, I don't know. On a good night, maybe 30. On a bad night, maybe 3.
We do it for the love of the game, goddammit.
We love the game. Oh, shit. But to be fair, our podcast is about the same thing. I mean, more, that's what I guess. That's a gear grind for me right now. More fucking people will tell me they don't listen to the podcast than are actually listening to the podcast. And I'm like, what is your fucking problem?
We have a pretty good amount that do listen.
Check 1, 2, yes.
Oh, so how was your concert last week?
Oh, fuck yeah, it was awesome. Hell yeah.
I saw the videos, and there was a Soundlike Broadcasting video that at the end of it has you going, fuck yeah!
Yeah, that got taken down. Apparently the powers that be didn't care for that very much.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah! Hey, I'm not going to lie, alcohol was a factor.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
And even Eddie said it. He's like, dude, fuck, man. He said,
if it wasn't you, it was going to be one of the other 30,000 people that were there.
Yeah, you're right. You're goddamn right. So, yeah, it was me getting, fuck yeah! And,
I mean, nobody knew it was you. It could have been any random
but you've
grunt
listened
there.
to my voice enough that you know.
Yeah. I know. I know a Phil fuck yeah when I hear it.
Because he's heard it a bunch of times in his ears as we sit here.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah! Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, Jason's bride was bugging me the day before. You going to the big concert? I'm like, I don't think I'd survive if I went.
We made it. God bless Eddie. Mrs. Speary said he wasn't supposed to drink. We did feed him 1 beer early as we were tailgating before we went into the show.
As is tradition.
Of course, and of course a shot. He had a shot with us too. And but we proceeded to drink all during the concert, Jason and I, and then Eddie drove us home. So we made it home safe. We were responsible. Look at that.
Nice.
Because trust me, 3 hours later, Eddie's beer and shot had worn off.
I'm kind of surprised that is the what happened though.
Yeah, a little bit. Eddie was, he's trying to mind his P's and Q's. He had the big trip that Mrs. Fury had planned where they went parasailing, which, did you see that Facebook Live video?
Yes.
Fascinating. We have a lot to talk about this week.
Absolutely.
Eddie and I do, yeah.
Well, that was pretty cool. I mean,
I would love to parasail.
I've done it one time.
Yeah?
A little scary, like at first especially. But, I mean, not bad. I don't know that I'd be like in a giant hurry to do it again. You get some good views up there, but you're also kind of being pulled behind a boat,
with a parachute hanging out of your ass.
And as I'm going up, and like this is up at Caseville, and as I'm going up, and I'm like, how bad is this going to drag me down when I hit the water?
How do you land parasailing? I guess that's a great question.
Well, you land in the water, violently.
Ooh.
But I mean, you have a life jacket that holds you and the sail up, and the sail doesn't really sink, so it's not really a worry. But I was worried about that. That was something that hit me about halfway up.
Like, what if it wraps around your neck like an umbilical cord or something?
Or just what if that thing like gets a bunch of water and takes a dive and drags you down to the bottom of the lake, and it's you and the guys from the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I knew it was going to be that. No, not belittling the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, but she rang 29 times. You got it. So parasailing, yeah.
Gay!
Eddie, I'm talking to Eddie, and he's like, well, yeah, I've jumped out of airplanes when I was... what are you scared about, then? If you've jumped out of a fucking airplane, like, that's like parasailing is jumping out of an airplane with training wheels.
Well, I wasn't a bitch then.
I wasn't a bitch. I wasn't a bitch. Yeah. So there we have it.
So, speaking of Lions, as we just had somebody go out with the forward down the field, a Lions team we will not yield. Very few people can go through that Lions fight song.
Oh, I know. It's preposterous that a professional team has a fight song.
Yes. They probably all have it, though. But
I don't think that's true.
Have you drank the Kool-Aid?
No, fuck no.
The Kool-Aid kind of faded on me when I watched them go down 20-0, and then against like the practice squad of the Steelers, they couldn't even come back and win it.
So I decided that I haven't even drafted any Lions players on any 3 of my fantasy football teams I've drafted so far. So what does that tell you right there?
A Lions kicker is a pretty safe bet. I mean, I know it's going to be a new one this year, but they're going to get lots of opportunities to kick.
Oh, a lot of opportunities.
So for everybody who's not into sports that we've lost on the podcast here, we'll digress.
All right, how many NFL teams have a fight song?
I'm going to say 6.
According to Pro Sports Fight Songs, the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills. Oh, almost all of them do. Chicago Bears, the Bengals do. The Cleveland Browns in your pants.
Is it all the same fight song?
They probably all are with different lyrics.
Field, a Cowboys team that will not yield.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Actually, only 18 teams out of 32 in the NFL have fight songs. However, the Lions have had theirs the longest.
Yes.
And guess what? The Lions have never been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
Probably not. No.
However, in February of 1957, the Lions did win an NFL championship.
Yeah, what's that mean?
What does that even mean?
Is the NFL even around anymore?
There's no such thing as the NFL championship anymore.
Oh, yeah, the NFL is still kind of around.
Yes.
But not NFL championships.
Vince Lombardi.
You know, I did meet...
Vince Lombardi?
No, I met Tom Nowatzki.
Go on.
He was Super Bowl V MVP.
Okay.
And I met him and Mike Ditka, which I know Ditka's the bigger draw. Ditka. But the one thing I noticed about those guys is they're both fucking huge.
Of course.
I mean, Ditka's smaller than Nowatzki. Nowatzki was a running back, and he dwarfed me. Dwarfed me.
Could you imagine that guy just trucking people at his size back in the day?
So I shake Nowatzki's hand, and my hand disappears, right? Just like, it's like I put it inside a mitten. And then I shake Ditka's hand, and it's like my hand went inside a barrel. His hand was the biggest fucking hand I've ever seen in my life.
Your hand just basically echoed inside of his.
Yeah. It was like throwing a hot dog down a hallway type of scenario. But, I mean, holy hell. So I look at a Super Bowl ring, and I'm thinking, I could wear that as a bracelet.
No shit.
No joke. I mean, it was just fucking huge.
Ditka.
Huge.
Fucking Ditka.
Nowatzki's not near as impressive, but it was from Super Bowl V, so... Back then, they didn't have diamonds. It just had hunks of coal in it.
Isn't that great? Don't worry. When you get older, there'll be diamonds.
Yeah, eventually.
Just hunks of coal.
So, like... But, yeah, I mean, Nowatzki was just huge.
Yeah.
Just huge.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because somebody I knew in Seattle, their dad apparently, or grandfather was worked for the front office of a team in the NFL that won like Super Bowl IX or something like that. So they had a ring. And it looks like your standard janky ass class ring that some normal kid would buy this day and age, you know?
Yeah. Now you see the rings like each ring is $1.7 million filled with 87 carats of diamonds.
You're right. Yeah. It's got ornate shit, and this just said Super Bowl IX champions, and it had a little rock in the middle, then it just said his name on the side, and
They didn't even use Roman numerals, it was just a 9.
Yeah, 9. 9. With a little line underneath it so you knew it wasn't a 6.
Is that a 9er?
No, it's cordless.
Yeah, amazing how different, even like now high school teams, a lot of times when
if they win a state title, they get rings now.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. But that are probably worth more than my cars.
No doubt about that. The athletic boosters just really spring for that shit.
If Sandusky won one, it'd be like decoder rings. Be like, We got these from Pizza Hut. They were left over from the Book It stuff 40 years ago.
Mood rings.
Yep.
That'd be great.
The Lions Club in town had a bunch of spider rings that were left over out of a vending machine. Here you go.
But look, the eyes light up.
Yeah. They're Black Widows, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
You know, we always, when I was in high school, it always seemed like a state title was this mythical thing that was so far away. It truly wasn't, but like back then in the Thumb and in the area, like small schools just never stood really a chance because it was structured a lot different. I mean, they didn't have as many divisions. It took a lot more. The playoffs were a lot smaller as far as how many teams got in, and so like it's fucking crazy. Like if I played in the landscape how they have the past 10 years, I think we could have made some teams I was on could have made a deep run into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I was on a 7-2 team and a 6-3 team. 7-2 team. Our only losses were to Harbor Beach. We had a non-league loss that was to a really solid team.
Right.
And Croslex. We played Croslex.
Yeah.
And at that point, they weren't quite as much bigger than Sandusky as they are now, but still quite a bit bigger. But, you know, we played 2 games against solid teams. That, you know, Harbor Beach made the state finals that year. Croslex made a deep playoff run in Class B. And we didn't even make the playoffs.
Right. So, like, my senior year, we had a hell of a team. And for some reason, we ended up playing Elmont in the first round of the playoffs. Think about that, Elmont. We were Division 7 that year, but they were the biggest school by enrollment in Division 7, and we were the smallest. And so I'm like, how is that even fair? They had 3 guys that had D1 scholarships on their team. We had 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the craziest thing is I watched Chris Webber play in Deckerville's gym.
Yes. I was there.
That's insane.
I was there.
Yeah, I was too.
And it was insane. You are fucking correct on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you think back and you asked him, where's the weirdest place you ever played? Well, there's this shithole. We're surrounded by cornfields.
It's called Deckerville, but they had this amazing spring-loaded gym floor that made us all fly.
Because nobody had ever used it.
I felt like Superman.
That gym floor was 55 years old, but nobody had ever used the springs in it to jump.
Just a bunch of honkies. The floor made a honking sound when you jumped off of it.
So, our mutual friend Mickey was in the Army Reserves with a guy who played with the Fab Five.
Really?
And I'm trying to remember his name, but he was somebody who he didn't even dress every game.
Yeah.
But like Mickey said, when they would play pickup games, he said he was just godlike on the court.
No, you are not wrong. So it's kind of like, what's his name in the NBA? It's I'm trying to think of who it is. One of the guys you can kind of consider a scrub in the NBA, and he would play like just anyone in like summer at parks and just destroy everybody.
Oh yeah.
And his quote is, "I'm closer to LeBron James than you are to me," and he's not wrong.
No,
like talent wise.
But like,
because like these people would say this guy sucks to his face, and then he would play him to 10 and just shut him out 10-0. Like you don't understand. Even being a shitty player in the NBA, I'm fucking good, you know?
Yeah. Well, like, Mickey was a solid basketball player, right?
I remember, yeah. He was on a couple of my teams.
He said he couldn't score on him. He goes, when he told me he was going to shut me down, I could not score on him. It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And, you think about the disparity in like, somebody who's that good. I wrestled at a USA Wrestling freestyle tournament when I was a little bit out of high school. And there's a guy named Bruce Baumgartner.
Yeah.
I was like 1 round from wrestling him. I won my first match. My second match got defaulted. My third match was against a guy who was like he'd been an All-American, and he destroyed me. I mean, just not even close. And then I'm thinking, I can't wait to watch him wrestle Baumgartner.
Yeah.
Which Bruce Baumgartner is like one of the most decorated wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
He went out and absolutely got annihilated by Baumgartner. And this is
just waxed.
This is past Baumgartner's prime.
Yeah.
At his best, it would have been, even further away. But, I mean, he went out and got destroyed. I don't think Baumgartner broke a sweat. And I'm thinking, this guy just absolutely killed me. Killed me.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes out, and it was as big a difference between him and Baumgartner as it was me and him. And I'm like, I'm just glad I did not have to wrestle that behemoth.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Because I went about 235 pounds at the time, and Baumgartner was at full 295.
Wow.
Like, running to make weight, and just a ripped 295.
That's just it. And if you notice, like, if you go to a professional game, doesn't matter what sport, if you are close to the action, you can see with your own eyes how the speed of the game, the everything of the game is just so much different at a professional level.
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy because they make everything look so effortless, but on the TV doesn't do it justice. Like I've noticed, like even the drop-off between small school, high school football versus big school, high school football versus low-level college football like Division II and Division III versus Division I college football, and then from there versus the pros. It's a big leap and bound at every single jump up you do.
Well, you know, even in talking to my oldest son, Anthony, who is a NAIA wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, not a low level by any means. I mean, they're equivalent to Division II NCAA.
Right.
They actually have a lot more schools than Division II NCAA, and because they give both athletic and academic scholarships, I think there's a lot more talent there than people give credit for, but definitely not Division I, not Big Ten, anything like that.
Or Iowa. I mean, Iowa wrestling is the pinnacle. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, any more Penn State is.
Yeah.
But Big Ten, anything Big Ten is solid.
Yeah.
So his coach wrestled at Michigan State, his college coach.
Right.
And he was 55-44 career. So, you know, roughly a 500 wrestler.
Right.
And Anthony's like, it sucks to have to wrestle him. He goes, just sucks.
Yeah.
And, you know, even watching, like, him wrestle, we went to the Michigan State Open to watch him wrestle, and he had to wrestle the backup from Ohio State, so the second-string guy from Ohio State.
Right.
Which was just, now, keep in mind, the number one guy from Ohio State was a national champion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy's solid. He was in the mix to be in there. But holy shit. You know, I watched,
ridiculous.
I watched him rack up 133 high school wins, career wins. You know, solid high school wrestler. And then to go out there as a freshman. This guy was a freshman, too. It's not like he was, you know, some senior. He was a freshman, too. But he was a backup, the second-string guy. And he just absolutely killed him. I mean, just to watch him be manhandled like that, I was like, holy shit,
yeah.
You know, he had a really solid match with a guy from, like, Akron University before that, you know, Mac School.
Yeah.
He had a really good match with him right before that. Lost it, but it was his first ever college match. And then just to go out and get the shit kicked out of him. Like that, it was like, whoo.
You're like, oh, Nelly.
You know, I mean, his freshman year, he had plenty of wins, things like that. You know, he belongs in college wrestling, but it was like, wow, there's such a disparity between...
You know your place. You see your level.
Yeah. You know. So, I mean, it's going to do everything that he wants it to do. He's going to get he's got his college scholarships. He's getting all that paid for. But holy shit. I was really glad he didn't shoot for, like... You know, I've watched wrestlers from the area that get delusional and they think, I belong in Division I.
Right.
And they go to Central, and when they realize that they're, like, 10th on the depth chart at Central...
Yeah.
That they're never going to make the NCAAs. They're never going to, you know, and they quit.
Yep.
And I've watched that. You know, there was a wrestler from Croslex that a couple of years ago that decided to go up and go to Central. He never made it above 7th on their depth chart.
Damn.
So at his weight class. And, I mean, he was a 2-time state champion and a 2-time runner-up.
Right.
Never made it above 7th on their depth chart.
That's insane.
So, you know, it just shows that when you get to that level, it is nuts.
It is ridiculous. It is crazy. I've seen that firsthand. Oh, boy.
So, well, we're an hour and 9 into this thing.
Let's get out of here.
All right, let's do that. I'm good with that.
I don't know if Matthew's going to be here or not. It's late. He's not here. He's not answering my text. But anyway, you've been listening to the PNA Podcast Express. He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. You can email us at pineapplenipplearsehole@gmail.com or PNA Podcast Express at gmail.com. Make good choices.